Hello guys, welcome back to ArxangelRC. I know a lot of you have asked for me to test out the flat wings mod on the Nano Talon, and I did do that mod recently, so here are my first results and impressions. I do apologize for the delay in getting this video out, but it did coincide with my vacation and, you know, it was very difficult for me to work on it during that time. Now though, things should get back on track, and thanks to bonafidepirate's work on the Nano Talon, I was able to easily print out the parts necessary for the flat wings mod. But I do have to say, removing the stock parts was a fiddly task, especially if the goal is not to damage the foam too much. It does require patience. The printed parts fit quite nicely and gluing them in was not too difficult, but in the process I just may have also glued in the wings permanently, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess I could live with it given that I want to send this plane far and high, so knowing they will not be coming off in the strong winds at altitude is a comforting thought. So once the glue had set, I headed out to the out of town flying field to try this out. The weather was relatively calm, sunny, slight wind, and as it appeared, quite a few thermals. First takeoff was in manual mode as I wanted to see if the mod has warped something and would require trimming, but none of that was needed. So I landed and set up a mission with long straight so I can chase after it with the Phantom a bit easier. Next throw was in auto takeoff, and for whatever reason it did dip a bit after lunch, but managed to pull up before it hit the bushes in the distance. In the stabilized modes, the elevator travel is pretty weak, so I guess that is normal. I let it run the mission on its own, but looking at the small screen at the field, I really couldn't see much of a difference compared to my last flight in the city before the flatwing mod, and all the thermals were not really helping. It wasn't until after I had gotten home and had a chance to watch both recordings back to back that I did notice some improvement in the raw performance of the plane with the flat wings, so at least I was happy that all of that wasn't for nothing. Now here are the two DVRs side by side so you can judge for yourself, but I do feel like the one with the flat wings shakes a bit less, though I will have to do more flying to absolutely verify that, and might also put on the strakes just for a good measure. Truth be told, I haven't flown this at altitude, which is where I want to fly it, and up there things are different. Even before the flat wings mod, whenever I was above 400 meters and higher is actually better, the plane was perfectly smooth with or without the strakes, so I guess for my type of flying this wouldn't make much of a difference anyway. Here is one of the earlier flights after the iNav install, and as you can see, at 700 meters above the ground the plane doesn't even twitch, so it all comes down to how you're going to use it. That being said, looking at the two feeds side by side, even though they are from different locations, I can tell that the flight with the flat wings does appear smoother, but it might be hard to notice since both flights happened in very turbulent conditions. Before the mod, the flight was over the in-city flying field, and because of the terrain there and all the buildings, there are lots of thermals and the air is turbulent. And after the mod, the flight was outside of the city, but same problem, lots of thermals from the airstrip and the road, and it also was turbulent. Some of the videos I've seen of people testing the flat wings mod have been during sundown, late in the day, when conditions generally are very calm and absolutely perfect for smooth flying, so I can't really say that this can give a good indication of how much effect the flat wings mod has, since the atmospheric conditions are perfect. But I do have to acknowledge that the Nano Talon is a small and light plane that, regardless of wing design, strakes, fins, vortex generators, etc., will get tossed around in turbulent conditions, so perhaps I'm just expecting too much from the mod given the conditions I was flying it in. I will have to do some more flights and will also have to take it up higher, and am considering gluing the tail in just to avoid any accidents related to losing that at altitude. Since the wings are now also glued in permanently, might as well put some aileron servos on the wings themselves, thus removing the slop in the control system that is currently there, and that actually might further improve the performance of the plane. Though at this point I am starting to question the need to do these mods anymore, seeing as how some photos of a possible second version have started showing up here and there, and hopefully most of this stuff will be fixed whenever that model is released. But until then I do have to keep myself busy somehow, so might as well go ahead and do these mods and try to get the plane up into some clouds at some point. I just still can't get over the fact how a plane can be both so good and still need so much work to make it fly well, and I do hope this impressive flight efficiency and inner space will persist into the second version. As of this moment though, we are still stuck with this Nano Talon, and yes, apparently the flat wing mod does make a difference for the better, but still it might be a good idea to have that combined with some of the other mods that are out there, fences, vortex generators, strakes, etc., and see what works for you. And even with all this work that needs to go into the plane, if you're looking for that added smoothness of the flight, the Nano Talon remains one of the most capable and efficient planes in this size, and perhaps the easiest to break down for transport, and that is not something that can be easily ignored. True, I accidentally glued the wings on mine permanently, but I've got room in the car and I don't mind that much given how I want to use the plane. But if you care about this, just glue in the 3D printed parts carefully and you should be fine. Once again, kudos to bonafidepirate for the parts and the tutorial. The links to his work are in the description below, and there you will also find links for the stuff shown or used in this video, and using any of them to buy literally anything from those websites would help support this channel, so henceforth you will have my unwavering gratitude, as that is also how I make my living now. Another way you can support me is Patreon. The link is also there. If you have enjoyed this video and found it useful, please feel free to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and also consider following me on Facebook for more regular updates. I wish you happy modding, and until next time.